Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited. We are here for another one of our mass making sessions and we are week 125, would you believe? I know I say it every week, but honestly, I just can't believe we're up to week 125. Oh, shocking, 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 shocking how fast the time flies. Oh, it doesn't bode well, does it? I'm already messing up my words. Right, what we are going to make today is a double book page pockets. Obviously, anyone who's familiar with my channel, you'll know that we are, week 125, but we are doing reruns. So we're rerunning week 25. So you may well have seen these the first time around, or, you know, if you're kind of a more recent, viewer of my channel, then this may be the first time. Not claiming these as my idea. I have to apologise. I'm not sure whether actually I had seen these on somebody else's channel, you know, way back a couple of years ago when I did them, or whether at the time perhaps I thought that I had come up with them. I really don't know, I'm afraid. But yes, I'm in no way trying to claim these as my own idea or anything like that. So I have brought along a whole ton of book pages. Again, I've probably been way over ambitious. I don't know why I think that I'm going to get through such a variety of, or such a huge pile of book pages, but hey, there's a first for everything. So if you're joining along with me, what you're going to need is some book pages. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need some glue. You may need a bone folder, or if you don't have a bone folder, then by all means you can use the handle of your scissors, or, you know, just kind of your fingers, or, you know, however you like. You may want some bits to decorate up, just depending really whether you want to do that stage or not. And the other thing that you might want to do is you might want some decorative papers just to decorate and mix in with your book pages. Now this is again completely optional. You might prefer to leave yours completely plain, or you might like to add a layer of decorative papers. So, you know, just completely make them your own and do kind of what you like to do. I also find it really handy to have a old gift card or something like that to use as a glue spreader. So you may like to have that, but I think that's pretty much it. So let's get started and see about how we make these. So, oops, I brought along a whole bunch which I tore out really messily, so they're not probably going to be much use for this. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 3 book pages. So, like that. I'm going to tear these off, but I'm going to just keep them in their 3s at the moment, just because it's handy for kind of like keeping them, you know, in their layered way to get started. So just folding them over. I mean, actually, these have actually come apart anyway. So to be honest, yeah, it's kind of irrelevant. But just what you want to do is I use the back page as obviously the back, you know, the back page or the back layer of my pocket. And then what you're going to do is kind of take your second page and you're going to just fold along here from the corner in the corner. You're going to want to fold a sort of, triangle going down along there. Okay, and then you may or may not like to glue yours down. I kind of glue everything, to be honest. So I'm going to glue mine down just because, you know, I really like to make sure that things are sort of properly fixed together, really. So that's that one. So that will go on top of this. Now, I have to say, it works really well if your book pages are still held together. So if you've got like what were glued in book pages and they've still got the bit of glue down the spine, this was obviously a stitched in spine and they've obviously, you know, they're all completely loose now, completely kind of free, but you know, that's fine. They're still going to work just as well. And then what you're going to do is take your next page and you're going to do exactly the same thing, folding down the same sort of line for your pocket. So like that. So I'm just going to fold it over here like that. Okay, and again, just glue that down like that. Whoops, just trying to prop my glue up. So hopefully it's going to stay flowing for the whole video. Still keep forgetting to actually put it back into my Sugar Bell icing bottle. So then what you're going to have is, as you can see, like 2 book page pockets here. Now, if you wanted to keep your pockets as, book page only, then I personally would thicken this up, because I personally, you know, wouldn't find this particularly robust to use. So all I would do probably, as my pages are apart anyway, is I would just fold this over like that. Okay. Oops, like that. And then I would just glue around that pocket and then pop these on. So if we just kind of do that, just to show. So just glue all around the edge, going kind of as close to the edge as you possibly can. Then I like to just have a bit of glue in the center, just to kind of make sure it's properly, you know, stuck together. That's it. And then take my glue spreader, like that. Okay, and then back over like this. And then all you're going to do is put your page, your pockets onto the page. So I will just dab a little bit here, along here, and then here along the bottom, and then just going in on the other side, again just straight along the bottom, and then straight here up the side. Okay, so that's your first pocket glued on. Like I say, I mean, if you are lucky enough that your book pages are still attached because you've used the glued on ones, then that's fantastic, because they're kind of attached anyway. This one, obviously, you're going to have loose anyway. Even if it were glued together, you're going to have pulled this one off, because you want to set this one lower down, so you've got, you know, a lower down pocket. So again, you're going to just glue that on to the book page. So at this point, you might like to snip that off, so as you know roughly where that's going to go, like that. Okay, like that. And then you know exactly where you're going to be gluing then. So like that. Might want it higher. I mean, again, you know, there's no right or wrong, just literally exactly as you know, as you fancy. So, you know, you might want some really close together, you might want some not so close together, you know, just maybe do a variety. So again, just going all the way around like that. Oops, and I totally forgot my own thing there, and I've put glue here, but that's fine, you can just obviously dab that off. So again, just then mop your glue, or press your glue down, turn it over and just press it all the way around like that. And then again, just snip that off here, straight along at the bottom, like that. And that's literally it. You could obviously trim yours up then at the sides, you know, if it's like a little bit on the wide side or anything. I quite like this scruffy kind of edge, you know, where you've torn them out of the book. But again, if you don't like that, cut that off, you know, maybe even before starting, or after you've done it, if you've also still been glued together. And then you can kind of, you know, have them as you like them. Personally, I quite like that sort of scruffy look, but, you know, completely up to you. So that's all there is to that. So, I mean, could they be any easier? So we'll just run you through another one again, because it's always nice, I think, to see things, a couple of things, you know, to see them through a couple of times. So again, what I'm going to do is exactly the same, in that I'm going to take my back page to have a double thickness, just because, you know, I am pretty clumsy and rubbish, and to be honest, if my book page is just single thickness, I'm very likely to tear that. I mean, if you're using book pages that are particularly thick or anything like that, you might get away with not doing this, you know, or if you are not quite so rough as me, you maybe would get away with not doing this. I personally, I just like to have things quite thick and, you know, a little bit kind of more durable, I suppose. So yeah, just kind of play it by ear. And, you know, like I say, it might even be that it will depend on your book page thickness. So what you're going to do is take your first one, you're going to have it like that, and then you're just going to fold down over to the, you know, the corner. And again, you know, up to you how slopey how slopey your little triangle kind of slope is. So mine, I'm not kind of doing too huge, just, you know, yeah, just kind of a little bit, sort of almost like making a paper aeroplane, I suppose. So like that. Okay, but I mean, of course it's up to you. I mean, you could almost have it, you know, really down. Just, you know, play around and sort of see what suits you best. So again, I quite like to do it like this way first, just so that I can see roughly kind of where it is, and then fold it over on the other side. So again, just going over like that, and then like that. So again, just glue that down. Now, I'm not stitching mine. I'm just gluing mine because, again, you know, I like to do them on the mass making. On the whole, you know, just glued so it's accessible for everybody, because I know not everybody has a sewing machine, or, you know, just people aren't comfortable necessarily on sewing through paper on their sewing machine. So I like to kind of just, yeah, hopefully kind of keep these as accessible as possible for as many people. But of course, if you wanted to sew yours instead of glue them, that's another alternative. So, you know, don't be afraid to kind of like, you know, play around and experiment. Now, if you were stitching them, you might find that you wouldn't even have to glue down your little triangle flap. You might find that stitching around the edge of your pockets is actually good enough. Again, play around, find the method that suits you best. But all you're going to do, if you're taking them to the sewing machine, is simply place your book pages like this. Personally, I would probably then trim this along before stitching, so as you know exactly where you're going, and then stitch around the entire kind of edge of that. So, I mean, in some ways, it actually is quicker doing it on the sewing machine than it is here, you know, doing it with glue. Like I say, I just try to do these on the mass making so that they're totally, you know, accessible for as many people as possible. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, you could find that actually the sewing machine just makes these even quicker and easier. I mean, if that were at all possible. So again, just going down there, then like this, and again, just, oops, straight the way across. And I won't go right the way up this time, because of course it's not going right the way up. There we go. And then just squish that down. Ooh, squish that down like that. Okay. And then again, I'm just going to snip that out across there. And that's all there is to them. Now, personally, yeah, I probably quite like to trim these in a little bit. You know, but again, like I say, up to you. And also it's up to possibly, you know, you're going to be guided by your size of your book page. Now, the other thing that you can do is, of course, you could mix these in with some patterned papers. So again, just going to take my 3 book pages like this. And then what I'm going to do is, again, just fold over. And to be honest, I mean, actually, probably, you could probably, and this hadn't occurred to me before, and this is why the mass making are so great, because actually, and actually as well, maybe doing the revisit, you can then kind of develop other things and other ways to speed you up. So for instance, here, I've just folded down the 2 at a time. And then what you're going to do is obviously take those out. Oh, would you believe those were still attached? And then you've got your 2 folds completely done. You know, they're already in. Oops, sorry for jogging the camera. They're already in exactly the right place. So, you know, that's another way to speed up your mass making process. So yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me before, but that's why, you know, these revisits are so handy, because, you know, it was obviously a couple of years ago that we did the mass make on these. And, you know, over the time, it's quite funny how you just come up with other ways of doing things. And, you know, sometimes better, sometimes perhaps your original way was better. But yeah, definitely handy to come up with some alternative ways, isn't it? So again, just thinking of some other alternative things to do is I'm thinking you could kind of line your thing up, your pocket up, and then just snip it across here like that. So all your cutting is all done in one go. So the other thing that you can do, and this was what I was going to mention, and obviously then got waylaid with my light bulb moment of, oh, why hadn't I thought of that before? You could take some patterned paper. Now these are not really misprints, but you know, prints that I have been doing whilst I've been trying to make digitals and kind of get my digitals as I want them. So all I'm going to do is cut my digital down. Now again, this probably works best on just copy paper thickness, and this is all this is copy paper thickness. You could try it on other thicknesses. Yeah, I don't know what your results would be like, but you know, probably I think the copy paper thickness is going to work best. And then I'm just going to obviously cover my back book page with this. So this is going to kind of thicken it up. Again, just giving it that durability like that. So, and again, just put plenty of glue all around. Take my sheet, pop it down on there like that. Okay. And then just again, go over with my glue spreader like that. Okay. And again, just then trim that down like that. Trim it down on this edge as well, like that. And then of course, put your two on here. So just glue around there. Like that. Oops. Like that. Oh my goodness. Don't know why I'm finding this so fiddly, but yeah, suddenly became very fiddly. And then again, just glue around on my pocket number 2. Like that. Okay, and pop that one down on there. Now, of course, once they're stuck down like this, you can then go in and trim them, because you might find that, you know, cutting through those 3 layers of book page, you know, you might have this effect that I've got here where it's then not so straight. So once you've kind of glued them together, oops, you should then be able to kind of go in and just trim them up, you know, around the edges there, like that. So just, you know, you can mix and match them and really get them kind of to, yeah, be in your own kind of style. So, I mean, I really like using patterned papers. So for me, you know, this is what I would call my kind of style is, you know, I quite like to mix the book page with patterned papers. I mean, obviously, if your style is just kind of the, you know, the book pages, then just stick with the book pages. But I'm just having a quick look now, because then what you could do is you could just go in and you could round your corners. And again, you know, you could round just the top corners, you could round all 4. Personally, I think I probably would quite like it just the top, but I'm just going to do the bottoms just to kind of, oops, show you. Like that. It's a bit gluey now and it doesn't really want to go through, but let me just trim that up. Right, just trim around there. Oh my goodness, oh dear. Right, it's very soggy with glue, so yeah, but I'm sure you get the idea. So yeah, I mean, you can kind of change the appearance around and things like that. So, but they're quite nice, aren't they? So yeah, I'll probably do a few with kind of a patterned back paper, you know, and a few that are, you know, plain. So I think what we'll do is I'm just going to try and mass make a bunch. So by that, what I'm saying is do all the processes together. So I'll just fold over a bunch, then probably, you know, you know, if I'm going to double layer the back page with some pattern paper, I'll do that stage, cut them down, glue them, you know, so as I'm doing all the stages together. So yeah, kind of bit more assembly line sort of stage. So that's all there is to it. I will be quiet now about the process that we're doing. And yeah, we can just kind of relax now, have a bit of a catch up, and yeah, hopefully kind of see how everyone's week has been, and yeah, just relax and have a generally really nice time. So I hope everybody's week has started out well. For anyone who watches my channel, you'll know that I film these on a Monday generally, ready for them to go up on the Tuesday. So today is indeed Monday for me, and yep, I'm just literally filming these ready for tomorrow. It's about 10 o'clock. So yep, absolutely freezing today. I mean, it's entitled to be. It is of course January. You know, so yeah, I'm not suggesting that this is abnormal weather. It's, you know, more than expected at this time of year, isn't it, to be you know, well, not horrible, but you know, cold. But that said, it's such a beautiful day today. It's really bright and sunny. And actually, we've been really blessed because lately we've had tons of bright, sunny, bright, sunny, but freezing days. And they are my absolute favourite of the winter days. So yeah, it's been really, really nice. Right, I'm probably being over ambitious to try and do more than these. So yeah, kind of stick at these, I think. So I'm going to use my newfound method of folding over these pages 2 at a time. So yeah, why it had never occurred to me before is just a complete mystery, but hey. So I shall just fold those down 2 at a time. And then I think what I'll do is cut these down. Now this one is only a small book page. So to be honest, I might actually keep this as this whole long size. I think that's really rather nice, and you know, is something a little bit different. And to be honest, I mean, you could even layer up more than 2 pockets. You know, if you've got a long one here or a tall one here, you could do maybe 3 or 4 pockets. I would just stick at 2, but yeah, you definitely could do that. So that's kind of another thing to bear in mind, is that you might just be guided by the size of your book pages. So yeah, again, just kind of doing all my folding and potentially cutting. So if I'm likely to cut the pages down, then maybe do all of that here in this particular stage. And I might do some kind of, you know, some like medium size like that. Okay. Yeah, so we have been really lucky. The weather's just been that really gorgeous, cold, crisp days. Yesterday, I have to say, Sunday, it wasn't quite so cold and crisp. It was cold, but it didn't have that really bright, lovely kind of look about it, which is a shame. And actually, Saturday, I'm just thinking, I can't really remember what Saturday was like. I think perhaps Saturday wasn't bright at all. But yes, aside from yesterday and aside from Saturday, we were blessed last week. We had lots of those cold, crisp days, which I just absolutely love. So, yeah, definitely my type of winter days, these cold, crisp ones. So when I went to the gym this morning, so it was about, I think the car said it was 2 degrees. So, yeah, pretty chilly, to be honest. Like I say, I mean, chilly, but I guess to be expected at this time of year. Okay. Trying to think really whether we have been watching anything on TV. So we just started watching a little thing last night. I mean, again, it's not suitable for younger ones or anything, but yeah, I mean, my older, you know, my sons and I, we started watching, it was a Harlan Coben one, trying to think whether it was called Safe. Now, the reason I'm pausing is because I know there's a couple of things on Netflix. One is called Stay Close, I think, and the other one is Safe. So this one was the Harlan Coben Safe. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, well, it was quite good, to be fair. I mean, I say it was okay because, to be honest, as usual, I wasn't really watching it 100% properly. I was kind of doing other things, and you know, that's obviously never quite ideal. So I might fold this one down and have this one kind of half like that. So yeah, Yeah, so I mean, to be fair, I probably wasn't really watching it properly, so I'm probably being really unfair when I say it was okay. It was probably actually really good, but I just wasn't paying attention properly. But yeah, the reason I paused, as I said the title of it, was because I also had watched something else called something else called Stay Close. Sorry, to me, in my mind, they sound very similar. The other one was called Stay Close, and that's okay. A little bit on the strange side, I have to say. Yeah, a little bit strange. Now, I'm just going to swap these around so as I have kind of more, you know, samey looking pages. Because that one's got a title, so it might look quite different. Yeah, so the other one is called Stay Close, and it's with that guy from Cold Feet. Again, I've forgotten his name. But yeah, is he James Nesbitt? I'm not quite sure. I feel like he could be. So yeah, it's with him. It's okay. Now, they're both obviously kind of mystery thrillery type things, a bit murdery. So that's why I say, you know, they're not necessarily suitable for kind of younger ones or anything. But yeah, his one is a little bit strange in that every now and then it goes into this weird kind of like almost like you're watching a musical kind of mode. I mean, to the point where, and again, I mean, I've been watching this one on my own when I go upstairs to bed. And again, I'm on my laptop, so not really paying attention properly. And then I just glance up at the telly and there's this weird looking kind of like couple doing like a dance, almost like a musical. And actually to the point where I've thought, oh, maybe this is the adverts. And then actually it would appear it's not the adverts, it's part of the actual programme. So that's where my hesitation comes, because that for me is just a little bit strange. And yeah, making it a little bit, not fantasy, because of course it's not fantasy, it's, you know, it's a thriller. But certainly a little bit on the strange side. So yeah, that for me is kind of a bit, ooh, this is a bit strange what I'm watching here. So yeah, but that's the other one that I have been watching. Right, okay. So now I'm just going to glue. I might glue the backs down first if I'm going to be using backs. So just trying to think of the most efficient way to do this, but to be honest, this gluing part probably is irrelevant. I could probably do it any old way now. Yeah, so that one's a bit weird, to be honest, and it's strange because that's so out of character to the whole rest of the programme. You know, like the whole rest of the programme is nothing like a musical. It's just normal, just a normal kind of thrillery, policey type thing. And then it just has this really weird kind of like strange, yeah, just really weird kind of aspect to it. So who knows? I don't know why they've thought that was necessary to do that, but obviously somebody thought that was a good idea. So yeah, bit weird, but anyway, it's okay. By the way, that paper that I just used, that was from my Curators Collection kits, my new Curators Collection kits, which they are now in my shop. So yeah, and this as well on the back here, this is another page from the Curators, the new Curators Collection kits. This page here on the front is from my, I think it's the Pink Prairie kit. So yeah, I'm just using up kind of, yeah, the copy paper thickness pages from when I'm, you know, trying to kind of make digis and get them kind of right. So they're just perfect for this type of thing because, of course, you know, they're copy paper and they tend to have, you know, different things on the back to the front. So they're not necessarily, you know, I'm not necessarily going to be able to use them in anything else much. So to be able to get rid of them here is awesome. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of what we've been watching. The kids and I went to the cinema on Wednesday, it must have been, and we watched It was a film called The 355. It was okay. Again, it was okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's nice to be back at the cinema. It's nice to be able to, you know, to do those types of things again. I don't know really, you know, the films that are coming out, they don't seem brilliant. So I don't know whether they're films that kind of like would have been, you know, not necessarily like blockbustery type films, if you know what I mean. But because during the pandemic, not many films have been being made, they're just kind of showing them. I'm not sure, but it was okay anyway. I mean, it was okay. So, and like I say, I mean, it was just nice to be at the cinema. You know, after all that time where we weren't able to go to the cinema, it's just nice to be back being able to go. So, yeah, we watched that. Trying to think. Oh, yesterday went for a lovely walk on the beach. Now, we hadn't been to the beach for ages because, to be honest, we've had a lot of grey days and, you know, nobody really wants to go and have a walk on the beach on a grey day, do they? So, yeah, first time in ages, we went for a lovely walk on the beach. It was lovely. So even though it wasn't a bright sunny day, it wasn't kind of a grey day, or certainly it wasn't a rainy day or anything like that. It was just one of those nothing days. So, you know, it was perfect for going to the beach. So yeah, we did that yesterday. That was good. Trying to think what else we have been doing. Can't really think much of what else that we have been doing, but yeah. So, and obviously my new series started yesterday, so on the Monday, i.e. for me today, of my 7 days of art journaling. So first of all, just thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in and watching it. I really hope that you're enjoying it, and yeah, I mean, please don't, you know, be put off. If you're a junk journaler and you kind of think, oh, well, I do junk journaling, you know, that's not really for me. You know, I mean, of course, it's up to you. If, you know, if you decide not to watch it, that's absolutely fine. You know, that's your kind of choice. That's fine. But I just want to kind of say that please don't be put off thinking, oh, it's, you know, it's art journaling, I'm not going to enjoy that. Because to be honest, I mean, I'm new to art journaling too. I did my first ever page at the beginning of last year. So, you know, I've been doing it for a year, but I mean, I haven't done tons and tons of pages or anything. But I'm enjoying it so much. It's so nice to do something that, you know, is just completely for fun, just completely for you, completely, you know, it's not kind of about making a junk journal like for somebody else to enjoy or anything. It's just literally, you know, you get a chance to use maybe supplies and, you know, techniques and things like that, that, you know, you might not necessarily use with your junk journal projects. So that's a kind of bonus, is you're able to use up some of your, you know, supplies that perhaps, you know, perhaps otherwise you maybe don't really get to use that much. This is my Victorian Florals papers, by the way. I think it's set, set 3. It's hard to remember, to be honest. Yeah, so it's, I think I'll do another one of those. What was I saying? Oh, I've just drawn a blank. Oh, yeah. So the art journaling is just something really nice to do, and it's very, very relaxing. It's quite kind of therapeutic, and yeah, it's nice to kind of push yourself sometimes, you know, like outside of your boundaries, outside of what you would normally do, you know, which for me, definitely, you know, I wouldn't normally be doing art journaling or anything. And just, yeah, making something that's kind of more for play rather than, you know, for somebody else. So, you know, it's just something really, really nice to do. And again, exactly like with junk journals, absolutely anything goes. There's no rules whatsoever. So, you know, if you're kind of thinking, oh, that's not for me, you know, I've never done that before, I might not be very good at it, or, you know, any of those things, please don't be put off, because there's no rules and anything goes. And that's the point of the series, is that hopefully, you know, we're going to kind of practice and find some new skills and techniques and, you know, methods and things like that that maybe we haven't done before. and then we will, you know, have them going forward to do other things with. So yeah, you know, please do, you know, if you want to, please do tune in and join in, you know, because I mean, it's all about kind of having fun and just expanding your skill set and expanding your what would be the word? Not really your knowledge, but you know, expanding your well, your arts and crafts and your, you know, hopefully then your enjoyment of it, so that you've got more things to be creative with and more ways to use your stash and, you know, all of that kind of thing. So yeah, I really hope that you all enjoy it, and you know, thank you so much to everyone who has already watched it and commented. I really do appreciate that. So, and yeah, just really hope that you all really enjoy it. So obviously that's 7 days for that. So yep, obviously, you know, as I'm filming this, obviously we've only had day 1 so far. This is my Pink Posies papers, so in case you were wondering what they were. Okay, so I think I'll use this again, just because again, you know, it's obviously sensible to just use up the entire sheet now whilst I've got it here. Okay. So yeah, you know, so that's been exciting, and you know, really definitely want to make a point of doing a lot more art journaling this year, because I know that had been my intention last year, and I started out, you know, quite well at doing it, and then, you know, like with all these things, it kind of goes out the window, and then, you know, before you know it, you haven't really done it for ages. So I'm hoping to, yeah, get back into that a little bit. You know, because it never really kind of, you know, I never really got into the swing of kind of doing it as such. You know, I did a couple or did a few, and then yeah, I hadn't actually done any for a few months. When I then filmed that series, it was kind of my first time back again for quite a while. So I'd really like to pick back up with that if I possibly can. Okay, and shall we do one, thinking one blue one, so that we've got a complete contrasty one. Okay. So I think I've been a bit over ambitious here, because I've just looked at the time and it's like 37 minutes. So there's no way in a million years that we're going to get through finishing off all of these and decorating one, is there? So yeah, I might have to actually then just keep the others for, you know, gluing in slow time. So we'll just kind of assemble a couple and decorate one, and then just yeah, I'll have to finish them off, I think, in slow time. So there we go. So yeah, let me know below what you're working on. Let me know below if you are joining in with the art journaling. You know, if you haven't kind of commented on that first video, you know, then yeah, let me know if you're going to give it a go. As I say, it would be really wonderful if you do. You know, and wonderful for you, because of course, you know, you might find something that you really love if you haven't done it before. And I mean, I know there's tons of you out there that are seasoned art journalers anyway, so you know, you obviously don't need to persuade you, because you know, you probably know much more about it than I do. Okay, right, so again, just glue this one down like that. So this one was our slightly taller pocket, if you remember. So again, just going to go all around the edge of here, in fact. So I might just trim off that tatty edge on this one. Like that. Okay. So, and I have just filmed another series actually. Just doing a couple of finishing kind of bits on it. It probably won't go up for a little while yet, because I'm aware that obviously I've done a few series. I know, I don't know ever how to say that, but yeah, I'm aware I've done a few series lately, you know, back to back, and you probably are a bit sick of watching kind of series, you know, because they are obviously time consuming, you know, if you were to watch all of them. So yeah, I'll probably give it a break for a little bit, and then you know, kind of like come back and actually upload it, you know, in a few weeks. So, but yeah, hopefully it's something else that's going to be really, really fun and you would really enjoy doing. Okay. Okay. I mean, I can't believe we're actually like the 17th of January already. I mean, obviously, you know, hopefully now this is going up, it would be the 18th. But yeah, it's just like gone so quickly, hasn't it? I mean, just already 2 weeks into the year. Well, over 2 weeks into the year. The time just flies and flies and flies. I hope everybody is keeping well. You know, obviously kind of mixed things going around with the, you know, the coronavirus and things. And yeah, I mean, over here in the UK, different places are doing different things now. So, you know, we've not had like a revisit of a lockdown or anything like that here in England. But I know that kind of Scotland and Wales has, although I'm not quite sure whether they've reopened everything now. But yeah, so, I mean, I suspect it's just going to be, you know, another bit of a funny time again. But, oh, you know, I hope everybody's staying safe and well. Okie dokie. So again, just kind of gluing all of my bits together like that. Oh, the film that we watched last week, actually, I forgot to say, the 355, you know. Oh my gosh, I mean, it had that beautiful, beautiful Penelope Cruz in it. I mean, is she not just like one of the most beautiful women ever on the planet? She's so stunning, isn't she? I mean, kind of like mesmerizing. You can't stop looking at her. She's so gorgeous. Yeah, hadn't seen her in anything for a long time. But yeah, she's so beautiful. So yeah, she is just stunning. Incredibly beautiful lady. Right, I might do a couple in different papers just so that, you know, we've got some different looks, because otherwise they're probably all looking a bit boring now. A bit boring, a bit samey. So yeah, because I normally stop by kind of like the 45-minute mark so that we can decorate one up. So I'm almost at 45 minutes. So yeah, I'd best kind of just be mindful of that and just do a couple more, and then, like I say, I'll have to do the rest off camera later. There we go. Okie dokie. Okay. Like that, and then just move that one down to there. Oh, right. I've got something really, it was exciting for me. It's probably not very exciting for anybody else. Well, it's definitely not, because I'd shown the children and none of them were very impressed. Even my daughter, which came as a bit of a shock because I thought she was going to love it. But I get lots of comments about my junky rings that, of course, I'm slightly hooked on and, you know, just can't stop wearing. And I have been so blessed and have been sent lots of lovely rings from people. And yeah, so I've got obviously loads and loads of junky rings. And, you know, I mean, over the years I've bought loads. And then, you know, like I say, I've been so lucky and been gifted loads, you know, so... But I absolutely love them. And I just love, you know, choosing a different one to wear all the time and things like that. And, you know, just, yeah, absolutely love wearing them. But what had happened was kind of over time, you know, I used to kind of put them all in a drawer, but it was just one of those little kind of vanity drawer things that sits on top of my chest of drawers in my bedroom. And of course, you know, that's now overflowing. I couldn't really fit them in. And, you know, subsequently, all my rings were kind of like in various drawers. So I've got my drawers here where I make videos. So there would be a couple of rings floating around in there. There were my rings on my chest of drawers down in my bedroom. Then there were rings kind of on my dresser in the kitchen because, you know, when I would be cooking and things, of course, I'd take them off. So, yeah, they kind of ended up where they were like, you know, here, there and everywhere. And I thought, well, this is silly because actually I can never then find, you know, a particular ring. So I thought, well, actually, I need to kind of tidy them up. And I used to be quite organised with my rings, and then it just, like all these things, gets kind of out of hand. So I treated myself to what I can only describe as, you know, like what the jewellers have, like a tray, you know, to keep my rings in. Oh my gosh, it is so lovely. I got it from Amazon. It's actually got a lid, would you believe? So it's like in a glass case. It's, you know, see-through glass, so I can see through it. And yeah, it's all in a glass case, and oh, it just, yeah, looks absolutely gorgeous. And you know, it wasn't too much money or anything. I think it was about £16. And I thought, well, it's going to save me a lot of time looking for my rings, you know. And of course, they're all just going to be like in one place. What I hadn't really factored in was how much joy it was going to bring to me. Every time I see it, it makes my heart sing. I just absolutely love it. So it arrived, I think it was last Monday, kind of late Monday. Yeah, late Monday. Oh my goodness. I was so excited when it arrived. I obviously went to all my different little drawers and nooks and crannies where I keep my rings, or kept my rings previously. Dug them all out and put them all in there. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. I can't tell you how lovely it looks. I mean, literally every time I see it now, I'm like, ah, it just makes me feel so happy. It's absolutely lovely. Did I already glue that? Oh, I must have done. Makes me feel so happy just to see it. So, yeah, it's full to the brim. I mean, it was actually bigger than I expected. Like usual, I hadn't really, you know, done my homework and checked the measurements or anything like that. But, yeah, bigger than I expected. So, lots more kind of slots than I expected. But because, like I say, I mean, I've been collecting junky rings for, I mean, years and years, like probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 years or something. So, you know, have a lot of them. And like I say, I have been so blessed by all of you lovely people who've sent me rings as well. And yeah, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. It's literally full of all these lovely rings. And, you know, every time I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my gorgeous ring collection. They just look amazing. So I sent a picture of it to my mum, who laughed and kind of said, oh, you're like the Imelda Marcos of, you know, of rings. So, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I just absolutely love them so much. So, yeah, that was probably my highlight of the whole week, to be honest, was putting my rings in that box and seeing them all just, oh, just looking so glorious and lovely. So if I can, I'll try and show you guys, but obviously it's actually kind of like kept in my wardrobe because the case is quite large, like I say. So, I mean, I could bring it up here, I suppose, but I doubt it will even fit on my little space that I have here to craft. I mean, it would fit on my desk, but not with all my other stuff here, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'll have to see whether I can somehow show you guys, but, oh, it's just so lovely and yummy. So yeah, really love it. And I just want to say again, a massive thank you to all those people who've sent me rings over the time, because honestly, I just can't get enough of junky rings. And yeah, really love them. So thank you so much to anyone who's ever sent me them. Really appreciate them. And yeah, they're just every day, you know, literally every day make me smile when I see them in that gorgeous box now. You know, it's the type of thing that I could just look at just for no reason, not even picking a ring, but just looking at them because they look so lovely. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit like, you know, people who have like a massive shoe collection. It's a bit like that, I suppose. So yeah, only it's these junky rings. And I mean, the good news is, of course, they take up slightly less room than shoes would. So even though the case, you know, feels like it's huge, I mean, compared to, I guess, a shoe collection, it's actually taken up not much room at all, because it just sits on a shelf in my cupboard. So yeah, but oh my goodness, it's yummy. Literally makes me like, ah. every time I see it. Right, gone a little bit weird with this one, so then just trim it down. Again, just on this edge. Like that. And, you know, once you've glued them, you could always go around the edges with some stitching as well. I don't know whether I would bother, to be honest, because, you know, once they're glued. But, I mean, I guess, you know, if you wanted that stitched look, then you could do that. And, you know, they'd look really, really nice. But like I say, I actually think stitching them would be a really, really quick way to assemble these pockets. So, you know, if you do have a sewing machine and you feel comfortable using it, then you may find that actually just going around these with the sewing machine is actually quicker than what we've done here. So, yeah, kind of just play around and make them, you know, make them in the way that you are most comfortable making them. Okay. So take that one down there. And again, obviously I've just got that overhang from there. Okay, and then just up that side. Yay. Right, okay, let's clear the desk and decorate one. Oh my goodness, I've got like 9 minutes now to decorate one if I'm doing my usual, you know, trying to keep to roughly an hour. Oh, these times just go so quickly. Oh, very quickly, just before I do decorate, I just want to show this gorgeous present that I got from the lovely Deborah. So thank you so much, Deborah. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous gift. So she made me this little tiny journal in this absolutely lovely pouch. Isn't that gorgeous? From, I don't know whether this is a paper bag or whether it was just brown paper, but either way, up my street. Absolutely love it. And then it's been ruffled with some tissue paper down the edge with some stitching. And she's made this gorgeous little kind of collagey piece here with like, you know, paper scraps to make like a vase of flowers. And look at this adorable journal. I just absolutely love it. It feels so nice. And it's got lots of, yeah, crinkly texture, you know, with like vellum or baking paper. I mean, how gorgeous does it look? I just love it. I'm not going to obviously dwell on this because this is a personal note to me from the lovely Deborah, but I've read your note, Deborah, and it's so gorgeous. Your writing is so beautiful, I have to say. I mean, at first I kind of spent ages looking, thinking, is that writing or is that a printable, like from a letter? Because it's such nice writing. Nothing like my writing, I have to say. Yeah, really lovely. And look at this. Isn't that so cute? I don't know whether she drew this or whether this is a stamp, but this little cute pen. Just, oh, I just love everything on here. It's just so pretty. More of that paper and more of this tissue ruffle. And look at that. How cute is that pocket? She's made a teacup. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely love it. And then again, more of the tissue paper, which I just love. She stitched the cup onto the pocket. And then look, she's tucked me in a tea bag. That is so cute. Well, actually 2 tea bags. So yeah, Egyptian licorice and chamomile white tea. So that's just so awesome. Then little tag coming out from the tea. I just love everything about it. A spoon, look, that goes into the cup here. It's so cute, isn't it? And again, that's on the kind of like crinkly paper, you know, which I just love the feel and the sound of crinkly papers. Then more gorgeousness here. It's just lovely, isn't it? And she's, you know, she's tied in like the theme, like here, the light at the end of the tunnel, and she's obviously got a lamp there. It's just lovely, isn't it? And then here, look at this lovely ruffle. It's, I think, greaseproof paper with some soft net, and it's all been stitched on. And the whole journal is made out of, I think, again, you know, you never can tell, can you? But I think it's just made from like the brown, you know, maybe like a card making set type of card. But I love the use of, you know, the brown paper and things, and just, oh, I just love it. So thank you so much, Deborah. I have been meaning to email you, and yeah, I haven't got round to it yet, so I wanted to quickly show that. So absolutely gorgeous. And whilst I'm quickly showing things, actually, I must just quickly show this, which again I had received a little while ago, and I've been meaning to show you, but obviously I hadn't done a mass make for a little while and things, so I wasn't able to do that. But I received this gorgeous little set from my friend Heather. So And Heather, she is over here in the UK. She lives literally just down the road to me, kind of about 20 miles from me, or maybe not even 20 miles. You know, quite close to where I live. And yeah, we just send, you know, little things. I mean, well, she has been amazing and sent me loads of lovely goodies. And she sent lots of lovely goodies to my daughter as well. And I've just sent her one or two things, you know, just by way of a thank you, really. And yeah, she just is such an incredibly talented crafter. Look at this. And then she also sent me, along with this, so I'll just show you. So this, which, yep, absolutely love. And then she sent me a whole bunch of these, which I'm not going to show you every single one, but as a planner for like project ideas and things. And it's so lovely, isn't it? What an ingenious idea. And just tons and tons of like writing space, and this paper is lovely. I don't know whether she printed this or whether this is, you know, maybe a set or something that she bought, because it feels really lovely paper. Really, really, really nice feel to it. Kind of, yeah, super smooth. And yeah, loads of these. So, you know, well, yeah, loads of them for planning. So, yeah, I won't show you them all. I'm just seeing whether there's one that's particularly, you know, like this one, which is quite a different look, because you've got this big pocket on the front. Well, triple pockets on the front. So, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, of course, the problem is I don't want to use it because I don't want to spoil it. I'd rather hoard it, but isn't it lovely? So, yeah, thank you so much, Heather. I had been meaning to show this, but like I say, when it arrived, I actually was kind of at a stage where, you know, it was kind of Christmas come in and all of that kind of stuff. So I then wasn't really making the mass makes so much. And, yeah, didn't have time then to come and actually show it in a kind of like, you know, live-ish type of video. So, yeah, just wanted to quickly show it now whilst I was quickly showing some of the lovely gifts that I have received of late. So thank you so much to Deborah. Thank you so much, Heather. Really, really appreciate those. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Right, okay, quickly back to our mass-made pockets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8. So we've made 8, so not too bad. I mean, we have made more, but I haven't actually assembled those. So I'm just looking to see if I've got any clusters or anything that I could decorate these up with, because obviously my video now is yeah, probably getting a bit lengthy. So I'm just looking through to see if I've got any clusters that would just tie in colour wise. I mean, that's not too bad. Or perhaps on there. That's quite nice. Let me just see if I've got any other that would be maybe a better kind of colour match. Honestly, I say this all the time, but, you know, it's just flabbergasting, isn't it? No matter how many things we have, just never got quite the right thing, have we? And, you know, how can that possibly be, that we have all these ready-made things, but not quite the right thing? It's just crazy, crazy. I think I do quite like that one on there, to be honest. We'll just double check that I haven't got any others that I might prefer. Oh, maybe this one. Oh, don't know now. Oh, I don't know now. Oh, decisions. It's just too difficult to decide sometimes, isn't it? So, yeah. Now struggling to pick one. I don't know. There's several that I think, oh, they're potentially quite nice. Oh, should we go back to that original one with the boot? Sometimes you should just stick with your first thoughts, shouldn't you? I have got some other clusters down there, but I just don't want to be here all day picking one. You'll all be like really bored. We'll just quickly check. I know. I say, oh, I don't want to be here all day, and then look at me, I'm still here deciding. That's quite nice on there. Or so is that one. Oh, perhaps I'll go for this one, shall I? Now I'm thinking, perhaps I should on there. No, right, okay, stop mucking about. Stop mucking about. I must just pick one and go for it, because, yeah, otherwise just going to waste all day picking. Right, so let's do a couple of roundy corners. So, yeah, I might just do just the top ones this time, because I said about that last time and then did all of them, didn't I? But yeah, I'm just going to stick with just the top ones. I'm still using my walnut stain, so I'm just going to ink around the edges of the pocket itself, like that. Okay. Like that. Okay, and then I want to go in here, so I'm just going to put some paper in there to save it from going, you know, onto the underneath, if you see what I mean. And then just again for that pocket there as well. So there we go. And then the cluster here, again, just ink that up a little bit. Ah, how pretty does that look? And then I think what I'll do is just put some lace on there. Do I want some lace? I mean, it would be very unlike me, wouldn't it, to not have any lace, but just every now and then you kind of think, oh, well, do I want lace? But, you know, everything always looks better with lace, let's be honest. Let's be truthful. So I'm thinking kind of a bit of lace, maybe like that. On that. Under the lace or over the lace is the question. Maybe under, actually. Yeah, maybe under. And do you know, I was thinking about having some ribbon on here. I mean, this is not the right colour, but it was just what's laying about on the desk. Because I thought, oh, maybe ruffling up some ribbon along the edge would be quite pretty. But yeah, it's not the right colour. Oh, I've got this blue. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, that's quite pretty. So I'm going to glue this cluster down. Now, this cluster's been stitched on the sewing machine, but of course none of the layers are actually kind of like stuck together, if you see what I mean, because it's just been stitched. So get this one glued down first. Again, please excuse the back. Obviously, it's more things that I have been printing on, you know, and then reusing. So like that. Oops. I'm now like over a minute, honestly. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Right. Okay, just take my 3-in-1 if it's got any left. Hold on. Oh no, it's all run out. Oh, come on. No, run out completely of that. So, yep, let me just quickly put that in the bin. Right, let's just do the tacky glue down here then. Okay. Let me just put that lace down the edge like that. And yeah, I can't help but think this would look quite pretty. So I'm just going to trim that down. And then I think what I'll do is actually just staple this in a sort of ruffle along the edge. So I'm just going to grab my Tim Holtz stapler. Okay, and yeah, let's just kind of go in just along the bottom like that. So, whoops. Oh, one. Oh, that didn't work for some reason. I don't know what happened there. Oops. Oh, perhaps it had something stuck in there because it suddenly had those flowers drop out. Right, okay. So, yeah. Ooh. Come on. Oh no, my lace is falling off. That's the problem, isn't it? When you're just, you know, rushing things and not like leaving things to dry at all. But Oh, that's not wanting to staple now. Well, perhaps we'll do it without the ribbon ruffle after all, because yeah, that just does not want to work right now. So I might have to do that in slow time. But let's just have that on there, and then let's just have a bit of bling, because of course we love the bling. Okay. Now, do we want the bling here or like over there? Let's have it over there, I think. Oh, and of course the apprentice is back on. So yeah, I don't generally like the apprentice that much, you know, when it starts, because there's so many characters, you know, I just find it hard to remember who's who. I prefer it once the series normally gets a bit further in, and then I can actually remember, you know, which character's which. But at the beginning, I find it a bit of a struggle, because it's like, oh, there's so many people, I don't know who is who. So I'm a bit at that stage, because of course there's only been 2 episodes so far. But yeah, I'm persevering. So yeah, that just restarted the other day. But yeah, that's kind of like fun for a watch, isn't it, normally? So just wondering if I could have a bit of ruffle. Maybe. Because I'm just thinking I could hot glue this on somewhere. Or maybe up here at the top, because then that would tie in the blue, wouldn't it? So yeah, let's just put a little bit of hot glue at the top, and then I'm just going to ruffle my ribbon up. And I'm using the hot glue because of course that's nice and instant then. I'm not having to wait for it to dry or anything. It's just instantly gluing. Like that, okay. Yay, right, oops. Like that. And then just trim that off at the edge. Oh, how pretty does that look? I love how that looks. Okay, so yeah, that's basically your little double book page pockets that, you know, you could then kind of glue them in on 3 sides, for instance. So you'd have a pocket there in the side, and obviously your 2 pockets here. So yeah, I will obviously, you know, glue the others all together in slow time, but hopefully, you know, that's given you some ideas and some inspiration. Of course, like I say, play around, you know, just do your own thing with them and see, you know, see how you like to do them best, whether you like to stitch them or stick them, you know, things like that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and like I say, thank you so much for tuning in to my 7 days of art journaling. So hopefully see you guys there tomorrow. So thank you so much then. Have fun. Bye.